So, what is the worst trade in NFL history nobody talks about? Well, in the 1970s, when the Houston Oilers needed something to get past Pittsburgh for the AFC title, they had two chances. They didn't have it, and the thing that they needed, the person in question was traded away literally for a bag of footballs. Everybody knows Steve Largent, but did you know the Seattle superstar, the Hall of Famer, was originally a Houston Oiler and was traded because Bum Phillips said, well, we got enough wide receivers to begin with, so we've got to get rid of you. Now, in 1974, the University of Tulsa, the native of Tulsa, Largent had 884 yards, receiving and 14 TD catches. In 75, he had 51 catches for 1,000 yards neat and 14 touchdown receptions. Despite an All-American career at Tulsa, he was not selected until the fourth round of the NFL draft in 1976 by the Oilers, all the way down to 117th. After 4 preseason games, and I saw one of them, he was slated to be cut, was instead traded to the expansion Seattle Seahawks for an 8th-round pick. According to Largent, Bum Phillips called him to his office and told Largent he had all the receivers they needed and that Houston would be releasing him. Largent feared that his career was over before it began. Eventually, he spent 14 years with the Seahawks, initially returning with his college defensive coordinator, Jerry Rome. His first practice with the team went horribly as he suffered from sleep deprivation for 9 days while financially struggling to care for his mother and 3 younger brothers after the mother left her alcoholic and violent second husband. While not particularly fast, Steve was what you call a possession receiver. He was sure-handed and was able to get it wide open due to his route running discipline. He became the first Seahawks selected to the Pro Bowl in 78 and was selected 6 more times during his career. In 79, he led the league in receiving yards with 1,237, and 6 years later did it again with 1,287 in 85. His 85 receiving yardage was a Seahawks franchise record that stood for 35 years until broken by the very talented DK Metcalf in 2020. Now, the Steve Largent Award, he was the first Seahawks player to win it, which was for its spirit, dedication, and integrity. Now, the big thing about Largent, he wanted to play. He ended his participation, get this, the NFL-LBA strike in 87 after the third and final week of the walkout. With the retirement of Charlie Joyner the previous year, Largent became the NFL's active leader in career receiving yards, retaining that lead until his retirement in 89. He broke the former Chargers' all-time record for receiving yards, 12,146 in Week 3 of the 88 campaign. In the same season, he unfortunately suffered a concussion and lost 2 teeth when he was hit by Mike Harden of the Broncos. Harden was tackled by Largent and lost the fumble 14 weeks later after Harden's initial interception. It's considered the best payback moment in the NFL in the 1980s. It has to be seen to believe. It's on TikTok and YouTube. Check it out. It's amazing. As bad as Harden hit him the first time, Largent and he retained the ball when he knocked it out. Now, during his playing career, he was given the nickname Yoda for his ability to catch anything thrown at him. He attributes this ability from a skeet shooting buddy that focuses only on the edge of the skeet, as he only focuses on the tip of the ball to track and catch balls, in the era where receivers and defensive backs don't wear gloves. This was also allowed him to quickly adjust from catching with left-handed Jim Zorn to right-handed Dave Craig. Now, when Largent retired, he held all major NFL receiving records, including most receptions in a career with 819, most yards receiving career 13,089, and most touchdown receptions a neat 100. He was also in the possession of the then record streak of 177 consecutive regular season games with a reception, which of course is almost 11 full years. He also holds a distinction as the first receiver in NFL history to achieve 100 touchdown receptions in his career. Largent's record of 100 receiving touchdowns stood in 92 when it was broken by Jerry Rice, who of course wore Largent's number after he allowed it out of retirement with the Seahawks later on. Inducted to Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility in 95. In 99, he was ranked number 46 on the Sporting News list of the 100 greatest football players, the only Seahawk to make the list. I think that's bullshit. He should have been at least top 30 because when I saw him play, that was the Seahawks. If you couldn't stop Largent, and them getting the AFC title game, like the Dolphin era, what they called the third dynasty, was quite interesting. Number 80 was retired in 92. He's the first Seahawk player to be so honored, and again, when Rice came back in 2004 to Seattle, the number was temporarily unretired after a conversation between Rice, who idolized Largent growing up, and Largent was proportionally initiated by then Seahawks president Bob Whitsitt. Largent remains the most prolific receiver in team history, and he also had his number 83 for Tulsa retired in 2008. So the consistency of stats here, get this, from 76 to 89, 54, 33, 71, 66, 66, 75, 34, 72, 74, 79, 70, 58, 39, 28. 1,000 yards 8 times and almost 9 consecutive. The average receptions per yards per reception always in the 16 to 18 range. Could go deep on occasion, but get this, look at the touchdowns: 4, 10, 8, 9, 6, 9, 3, 11, 12, 6, 9, 8, 2, and 3. And of course, the last season he broke the record with the 100 reception. Now, a very strong politician for a number of years. He's done a lot for Oklahoma politics. Again, congressman for Oklahoma's 1st District between 94 and the early 2000s. Now, he was the Golden Plate Award winner for the American Academy of Achievement in 1990, and People magazine also named him as a 196th list of the most beautiful people. Now, Largent has a son, Kramer James, with spina bifida. He and his wife, Terry, also have 3 older children, sons Kyle and Kelly, and of course, daughter Casey. Now, the idea about Steve Largent being an impact player, he was the best CFL player to never play in the CFL. He would have been perfect in the CFL. Let's say Doug Flutie or whatever. His style was very CFL, like Swervin, Mervyn Fernandez, Terry Greer, all the great Edmonton receivers, Waddell Smith and all that. Every time I watch the Seattle game, it's the closest that the NFL got to a CFL team, because the way Chuck Knox coached them, it was like a lot of the Bud Grant style of play. Good on second down. They had a strong running, but Largent was so effective at being Steve Largent. When you say, like people in my generation, when you say that receivers like Steve Largent, that's the highest compliment. He is sort of the Jean Beliveau of the NFL, because no matter what he did, people enjoyed his dedication. He took some hard hits and injuries, and like what he called the Bambi time situation. You look at Lance Allworth, you look at Swan, you look at Steve Largent. You don't see wide receivers like that anymore. Now they're bulky, but Steve, he was going into the lion's den, and he just kept on moving. And it came to a point that nobody wanted to really hurt or try to take out Steve Largent, because he was a well-liked player. So for the Seattle fans, my God, he was God and still is God. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here, we're a vintage NFL podcast on various foundational players from the 70s and 80s and 90s, which the modern NFL benefits from, especially Seattle. When Seattle won their first Super Bowl, the first thing I thought about it, so Steve Largent should have a ring, but Houston made a fuck up. And I'm going to tell you something. No offense to Bum Phillips. What the fuck are you thinking, man? As the joke said, that's a bad 3 penalties in a quarter half. It ain't funny. Well, Bum, I love you, Bum, but trading Steve Largent for a low round pick, I mean, are you moron? You're not a moron, but you acted moronically in that, and Wade just as bad, these years with Buffalo and Dallas. So thanks for listening, and don't forget, Christmas is coming up. All of New Brunswick has no snow, so it could be the first ever full white Christmas for New Brunswick this year. Strange times indeed. Have a good one. Bye.